What's up guys, it's Dave Marshall with the RCR Marshall YouTube channel, and today we are going to be doing a video on how to install the Wingnut Tech light controller into the E-flite Nite Radian. Now this is the 2021 new version of the Nite Radian. This is not the flight test Nite Radian. However, if you have one of the flight test Nite Radians, this same controller will work in the E-flite Nite Radian as well. In fact, it was made for that version. It just happens to also work in the new 2021 version of the Nite Radian. So let's take a look at what we have in the package. It's pretty simple. In the package, we've got just a servo extender. This is a male-to-male extender. And we've also got our controller board. Now, my reading up on the controller board, if you have one that has a 123 down here in the corner, this does have the latest firmware installed on it. However, if you have like a little square or a silver triangle down at the bottom, you may need to update the firmware, and there are great instructions on how to do that at the Wingnut Tech website. On the website, it's also got some great instructions on how to install the board. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory. It is documented here on the bottom of the board, and we can take a look at that. So as we can see here on the bottom of the board, we've got basically just your 3-point servo pins or 3-pin servo connector type. And we've got one for the right wing, the left wing, the nose, the fuselage, and the tail. So those are the 5 different LED arrays that are in the Nite Radian. And over here on this side, you've got channel 1 and channel 2. Channel 1 is where you want to plug in your receiver if you are going to control your receiver from a rotary knob. If all you have is a 2-position or 3-position switch that you're going to plug it into, you're going to plug the controller, or you're going to plug your receiver channel into channel 2, right? So you don't use both, you just use one or the other. So channel 1 is what we're going to be plugging ours into. All right, and then we also have like the program and cycle button and the enable disable button. It allows you to basically turn on and turn off either your navigation lights, or you can disable certain light shows if you don't want to cycle through all of them while you're adjusting your knob or flipping your switch up and down on your transmitter. You can go through and select your favorites and disable the ones that you don't like. All right, so that's basically all there is to the WingTech board. We're going to go ahead and start pulling out the stock light controller and getting started with the installation of the board. The stock light controller in the Nite Radian consists of this switch, the control board, a voltage regulator, and a balance plug connector. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of leave that dangling. We're going to flip the airplane over and open up the bottom access hatch. That's going to give us access to where the control board plugs in. And that's just a magnet there. You just pull up on that and that opens right up for us. In the forward part of the Nite Radian fuselage, in this under hatch access, we've got a small box here that is basically like a joiner box or almost like a parallel board. So this is our input from the light controller, and this box just distributes the signal from this cable out to all the other ones. So everything is addressed exactly the same from the stock controller. One of the nice things about the Wingnut controller is that each light array is individually addressable, so we can do more stuff with it. So to get the stock controller out, you'll see one of the wires that's all the way over here. Now this is the right side of the fuselage. That is our light controller. We can go ahead and pull that out. So I'll just pull that guy out of there, and then we can grab our light controller from the other side and just pull it on out of there. Now before we do that, I'm going to attach a servo extension. And then we'll pull that through. So we have that pulled through now. We've got the servo extension in there, and we can pull our old light controller out. We have our old light controller here. We can just kind of toss that off to the side. And we've got that servo extension routed through there. So now we can go ahead and take the lead that came with the Wingnut Tech board. We're going to plug that into the servo extension and pull that back through. So now you can see we've got the extension, the male-to-male extension that they provide with the kit. We'll unplug our servo extension, set that off to the side. All right, now what we want to do is we want to get this whole little distribution box out of here. It's just got some double sticky tape on the bottom. Just wiggle it around from side to side. That double sticky tape will break loose, and then we'll disconnect all of our leads from there. All right, we've got all those unplugged. All right, next we've got our Wingnut controller that we are going to go ahead and get hooked up. Now, when you're hooking this up, all of the signal wires are going to go on the far side of the green board, right? So the third pin, or the pins that are furthest away from the green board, that is your signal wire. So in this case, where we're going to be plugging this up to channel 1, so right there is channel 1. We'll go ahead and slide that on. And our signal wire, which is the white wire in this case, is furthest away from the green board. The only one of these LED arrays that I have a pretty good idea where it goes is the nose, right, which is the one that goes towards the forward end of the airplane. That's this one here. So we're going to go ahead and slide the controller up there and get the nose wire plugged in. Again, we've got the signal wire furthest away from the board. We have the lead for the nose LED array plugged in now. The other two that we have going to the back, I'm not sure, which one is for the fuselage and which one is for the tail. One goes in one place and one goes in the other, right? So we're just going to plug them both in here and hope we get lucky, and if we don't, it'll be easy enough to just swap those around. All right, so now we've got our two servo leads that go to our elevator and rudder servos, and we've got our LED connectors plugged in. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and plug in the controller and see if I can't determine which one of these is which, as far as, which one of these light arrays goes to the tail and which goes to the fuselage. So I'm going to grab a battery real quick and test that out. So went ahead and verified that the nose, the fuse, and the tail are all plugged into the right areas of the controller. I was able to do that. I mean, obviously the nose goes up towards the front. The tail and the fuse were swapped, so I just had to swap those over. And to figure that out, I just unplugged the tail. And when I unplugged the tail stayed lit up and the fuselage, turned off. So I knew that I had those swapped. So I just swapped those around and now we're good to go. So all we need to do now is install our wings and get the right and left wing plugged in. All right, so now we have the wings installed and we basically just want to plug in our last two leads here. This is going to be our left wing. We'll plug that into the left wing pins on the controller, and our right wing. On the controller, we can have the controller set up to show some navigation lights. To set up the navigation lights, what we want to do is go ahead and power up the system, and we've got our transmitter turned on here with the throttle cut on. So now the controller is active, and what I want to show you is down there towards the end of the wing. If you look at the tip of the wing, you'll see that it's red, right? So that is correct. That is the left wing, and it's a running light right now. It's a navigation light. So it's red and it has a flashing beacon every couple of seconds. We can actually turn that on and off and just turn it into another part of the array by pressing and holding the enable disable button on the controller. All right, so now you can see that it's turned off. What we're doing to turn that function on and off is right here on the Wingnut Tech board, we'll just press and hold that button, the enable disable button. You just press and hold it and you'll see the navigation lights come on and off. Now we're not going to get into the programming of it because, like I was saying, I want all of the different styles available to me because I'm using the rotary controller. But that's how you turn the navigation light function on and off. So if you don't want the wingtips to light up red and green, you just press and hold that button until the lights become part of the rest of the array. And if you do want it on, you can toggle that back on by pressing and holding the button again, and those lights will turn back on for you. So we're done with everything that we need to do in here. We can go ahead and close up that hatch, and let's go and set up our transmitter. All right, so we have the Wingnut Tech control board installed in the Nite Radian. Now we're going to do the radio setup. So I've got my Wingnut Tech controller plugged into channel 5 on my Radian. So we're going to be setting up channel 5 on the right knob on my NX10. All right, so to do that, we're going to click the scroll wheel. We're going to go to System Setup, click Yes, and we're going to go down to Channel Assign. All right, and there for the number 5 channel, our gear channel, which is where we have our controller plugged in, we're going to go ahead and click the scroll wheel to select that. I'm going to rotate the knob, and that's going to go ahead and set it up to be the right knob. And we'll click the scroll wheel one more time to lock that in, and now we can go back. All right, and if we go over to our channel monitor, we'll see that the gear channel is now responding to my right knob. So one of the things that I've done for my setup is I went to servo setup. We're going to get to that by clicking the scroll wheel and just clicking one down to servo setup. And here for travel, if you notice on the gear channel, I've got my travel set up to 150. Now we can back that down to 100, and it will just give us that standard range of -100 to +100. But by running it up to 150, that gives us a broader range of light shows that we can choose from in the controller. If you have like a DX6 that doesn't have a wheel associated with it, if you plug your Wingnut Tech controller into channel 2 on the control board, if we were in, channel 5 or whatever, we can assign channel 5 to a 2-position switch. So let's go ahead and try that. So we'll go down here to System Setup. Yes. We'll go to Channel Assign, and we can change right knob. We're going to put that on the A switch, since I don't have that assigned anywhere else. And if we go over here to our gear channel, we can see that the gear channel is just popping from -150 to +150. All right, so the way that the controller works, if you have it set up on a switch like this, is when you put the switch enabled, so you flip the switch, it will continuously cycle through all of the different light programs that you have until it finds one that you like. And once you get to one you like, you just flip the switch in the other direction and it will lock that in for you. So at this point, we should be all set up and ready to go to control the Wingnut Tech controller from the transmitter, which is awesome. All right, so here we can see a close-up of where I have the controller plugged into. I've got that plugged into channel 5 on the AR631 receiver that's included in the Nite Radian. And we'll go ahead and back up here. You can see without the stock light controller in here with the switch and all that other stuff, it really cleans up inside the electronics bay here, so we can get our battery in there a lot easier and get it plugged in. So we're going to go ahead and plug in a battery here and give you guys a little display of how the Wingnut Tech Light Controller works. One of the things that's pretty cool with the Wingnut Tech Light Controller in the Radian, I can now use my G2 smart packs rather than having to go with a G1 pack or, you know, another brand of battery, because I no longer need the balance lead to control the light controller. So I can take the G2 packs, plug those right in, and the new light controller draws all the power that it needs right from the ESC's battery eliminator circuit. So very cool. All right, so as you can see, we now have everything plugged in and ready to go. I've got my Gen 2 smart pack in there. It's plugged in. That's getting the new light controllers, getting all of its power right from the receiver. And you can see we have much more room there in the battery bay. It's a much cleaner install. And go ahead and pop our canopy on. Kind of take a look at how that looks now. With the canopy on, you don't have all that light controller, you know, the switch and the little nest of wiring that it leaves up there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shut off the lights, and we'll cycle through some of the different light modes of the Wingnut Tech Light Controller. We've got the Nite Radian flipped upside down because this is, frankly, the position that you're going to be looking at most likely when it's in the air, as you're going to be looking at the bottom of the airplane. So we can see on the right and left-hand sides, we've got the navigation lights with the beacon strobes, where they flash white a couple of times every second or so. And that is very nice. I really do like that feature, and that was one of the main selling points for me for the Wingnut Tech controller. Now, right now you see the light mode that we're in, you know, kind of has the white lighting kind of shooting out to the edges of the wings. And if we start cycling through the controls, you'll see them change. Now, right now, I'm just moving the knob on my controller, so I'm moving that now. Now, right now, all the lights are out. We're still going to have the beacons. We'll keep cycling through some of the other modes here. All right, so this is a nice, you know, kind of rainbow colored mode where you see all the different colors. Now, one of the things that I want you to watch here, and this is one of the things that's really cool about having a light controller that is able to address each strand of lights individually. You can see that as the colors change, and they're moving right now from the right-hand side of the wing over to the left-hand side of the wing, you can see that they move through the center section. You know, the colors change through the center section and move over to the left side, and you'll see that in some of these other ones as well. With the stock controller, it addresses every light array as just a single array. So all of the arrays do the exact same thing. And, you know, you'll be able to see here that that is not the case with the Wingnut Tech controller. All right, so this one just cycles through all the different colors and keeps them solid. You know, as we cycle through, now it's just red. This one is just the orange color, yellow, green, blue, purple. This one's kind of an aqua color. This is all just solid white. All right, this one is kind of like a starlight type of thing, very random, where they just randomly light up in white, which I think is a really cool effect. All right, this one just lights up the different wings and opposing patterns, which is, I guess, useful for some people. I don't see me using this mode very much. All right, this one is pretty cool as well. All right, that one just turns the whole thing into a strobe light. That's crazy. All right, this one is similar to the first effect, where it's shooting the lights out to the edges of the wings and to the tail. All right, here we have like a Knight Rider effect. And again, you wouldn't be able to achieve this effect with the stock light controller. So this is very cool that it's able to address the wings and the tail, the nose, and the fuselage all independently of each other. So you can get a really cool effect with the red light just kind of bouncing back and forth. All right, and same kind of thing here. You know, you'll see just kind of randomly the different colors shooting across. I think this is also a very cool effect that you just wouldn't be able to achieve with the stock controller. So this is really neat. All right. So this one is pretty cool as well. I could definitely see some usefulness from this particular light show. I like that one. All right, and at this point we have kind of cycled back to the beginning. Awesome. All right, so there you got it, guys. There is all the different modes for the Wingnut Tech controller. All right, guys, so that's all we got for today's video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave those down in the comments. If you're looking to purchase one of the Wingnut Tech light controllers, I've got a link down in the description. It is not an affiliate link, so all the money just goes straight to Wingnut Tech, and they obviously do a great job making these boards, so be sure to support those guys. For all the other gear that you need to change your RC life, visit rcairmarshal.com, and all of the links that you'll find there are affiliate links, which pay a small commission back to the channel when you use them, and we really appreciate your support. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you never miss another video from the channel. That's all we got for today, folks. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next one.